But if you think it's rather impossible for it to end. Yes, it's impossible for it to end, but it's also impossible for it not to end, because how big must it be to fill up everything? But once it's filled up to everything, then what's more than everything?
What a nice start you've given us there. So,
What's more than everything?
Well, if you get to the end of the universe, there is no end of the universe, but then there has to be the end of the universe, because it's impossible for it to go on and on forever. So,
Oh my gosh!
so yeah, so, like, remember.
Time will be infinite, because time, people, all of humanity can die, but time still goes on. Time can't stop.
and do you think it keeps going on
Yeah, it will keep on going.
forever?
Yeah.
Progress?
If the universe goes on, like, then I think time won't exist anymore, because there's nothing to make time pass, I think.
Interesting. So, if there wasn't a universe, there wouldn't be any time, because there wouldn't be anything to make time pass.
That meant like the whole.
Correct me if I'm wrong, isn't that something that Aristotle thought?
I don't know.
I'm asking the philosophers about.
If it's just black nothingness, that black nothingness gets older and older and older, and that's time, I think. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
kind of what you mean, Flo? So, with Aristotle or with Lola? Do you think time needs something to make it pass, or do you think it could just pass?
Yeah, I'm with them.
Alice. Sorry.
But if it was just black nothingness, then there wouldn't be any such thing as time.
Why?
But it's black nothingness, and nothingness means nothing, and so then there would be nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing means no thing. So the question is time a thing?
No,
Yes.
no, it's not. It's a thing.
All right, 2 minutes talking about this one.
No, it's not.
You said at the beginning that time is a way of
Measuring something.
time is a way of measuring something. Now, Nadia, what did you say in response? Your argument was if time is a
Thing, then if there's nothing, then time wouldn't exist because it's a thing.
so if time is a thing and there is nothing, time wouldn't exist because it's a thing. My question to Nadia was, what was my question to you?
It's
Oh,
a thing.
if
But is it a thing?
Yes.
no one knows.
So we've just heard some really carefully thought through ideas. Let's hear some more.
It would seem impossible for there to be no time, because in order for there to be no time, there has to be nothing alongside it, because if there's no time, there'll be no time for area to be seen or to be, and there'll be no time for colour and no time for movement, and no time to do anything at all.
So does that mean, do you agree with Kieran that time is existence?
Yeah, sort of. I would say that this all is time because it exists. I think time allows existence. It's hard to explain.
I think you've explained yourself very well, actually. So,
That way, the universe is infinite. And would they say it expands, then how can it be infinite? Because if it's infinite, how can it grow? Because
have properties are called anti-things.
But they do have a consequence. So time, if you left a cloth in a drawer, it would get dusty. That is a consequence of time. Nothing, a consequence of nothing is that nothing solid exists. A consequence of existence is the exact opposite. Solids appear. So that would. And also, gravity or all forces, they have no properties, but the consequence of gravity is that you will go down if you go up. The consequence of motion is that if you're going downhill, you'll speed up. So that is anti-things, no properties, but they do have consequences.
Wow.
But you know when I said that it's an anti-thing.
An anti-thing, yes.
Yeah. And it had no properties. But then you see, how could it be an anti-thing if it has no properties?
No, but it still has a consequence.
But how could it? But I mean, how could it? But how could it have a name if it has no properties? How could it be a thing?
Very good question. So, Noah, you've got a very good challenge to your idea there. If you've got something which is an anti-thing,